Hi, my name is Shoma Haim, and I am an academic coordinator for psychology at Washington State University. It is with extreme honor and pleasure to present to you the Martin Luther King Jr. 2021 Distinguished Service Award winners. This award recognizes an individual or group from the entire Washington State University community who has made an extraordinary contribution toward continuing the work of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Award winners must promote human rights and social justice in one or all of the following areas: altruism and community service, advancement of diversity, or education and inclusion. As stated by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the ultimate measure of a person, group, or organization is not where they stand in moments of comfort and convenience, but where they stand at times of challenge and controversy. This past year, we have found ourselves in the height of discomfort and inconvenience when it comes to the fight for social justice. The individuals and groups we are recognizing have stepped up and out for the cause, and we are here to celebrate their work. Please join us in recognizing these outstanding individuals and organizations.
Good day to all of you. My name is Jose Riera, and I am a doctoral candidate at Washington State University's College of Education. In 1957, at a gathering in Montgomery, Alabama, Dr. Martin Luther King lifted up our human spirit by stating, "Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others?" On behalf of the Washington State University community, I am honored to recognize Dr. Davi Coleman as a recipient of this year's Dr. Martin Luther King Distinguished Service Award for her extraordinary contributions to our community. Davi has honored Dr. King's legacy through her work as an advisor and as an awareness coordinator at the university's Access Center, where she provides mentoring and support to ensure that students with disabilities get the accommodations they need and they deserve. As a mentor to the Disabled Students and Allies Club, Davi also provides constant support to hundreds of individuals daily to ensure that they feel welcome and valued on campus. And as a recent graduate of the Edward Murrow College of Communications, she has blazed a trail for all of us with her can-do attitude, her impeccable academic achievements, and her groundbreaking research on how the media can enhance the ways that individuals with disabilities are portrayed, helping thus to break down prejudices and institutional stereotypes. For myself, Davi has served as a very powerful role model in my own doctoral studies by inspiring me with her dedication to the community and to her academic pursuits, while she has also gone out of her way to support me emotionally and socially throughout my transition to student life here in Pullman. I am especially grateful for her ceaseless efforts to ensure that I received the classroom scaffolding and financial assistance to make my experience at WSU such a wonderful and transformational one. For her altruism, her community service, her advancement of underrepresented groups, and for all the reasons that I mentioned previously, I feel blessed to pay tribute to Dr. King's memory and to his legacy by honoring Dr. Davi Coleman with this Distinguished Service Award. Thank you, Davi. Thank you, Dr. King. And thank you all.
Hello, I'm Meredith Goodwin, Director of the Access Center. It's wonderful to be here with you today to introduce the MLK Distinguished Awardee for Altruism and Community Service, Dr. Davi Coleman. Dr. Coleman is currently in her second year as an Access Advisor and Awareness Coordinator for the Access Center. And in addition, she recently completed her PhD from the Murrow College of Communication, where she focused her research on disability in the media. We are so proud of her accomplishments, and it certainly is my honor and privilege to have nominated her for this award. Dr. Davi Coleman is being recognized for the varied and certainly impressive awareness programming she has organized and presented this year around disability issues. Although we know it takes many people behind the scenes to present such dynamic programming, Dr. Coleman has been the creative mind and driving force behind these compelling awareness initiatives. In particular, the fall speaker series on disability and intersectionality, where she brought in 6 nationally recognized speakers to share their experiences and perspectives regarding how people with disabilities and those with several identities are perceived and regarded in today's world. She has also been actively working for more than a year to present a dynamic week-long Spring 2021 Disability Awareness Symposium, which is focused on inclusive fitness in sport. She also established the first WSU virtual book club focused on disability issues. We're now into our second semester and second book. She also, as advisor to the Disabled Students and Allies Club, has single-handedly reinvigorated the student organization into a thriving group of 70 members strong across the whole WSU system. Under her mentorship, students with disabilities are finding their individual and collective voices to bring attention to the issues that students with disabilities face in higher education. Dr. Coleman has also been instrumental in establishing the Access Center Faculty Liaison Group, which is comprised of dedicated faculty who advise not only the Access Center, but also their colleagues about Access Center procedures and disability issues in higher education. For many years, it has been one of the Access Center's goals to bring disability to the diversity table. On many college campuses, the diversity umbrella includes gender, race, ethnicity, and sexual orientation. But rarely do you see disability included in diversity conversations. Due to the efforts of Dr. Coleman and also the Access Center team, academic outreach and innovation, and many CESJ partners, disability is no longer an afterthought. The concept of universal design and equal access and opportunity is now at the diversity table. Thank you, Dr. Coleman, for your leadership, energy, drive, and passion, which has brought system-wide awareness to disability issues. Congratulations to you.
I'm so honored and privileged that I was selected for the Martin Luther King Distinguished Service Award. This is such an amazing initiative that's happening at the WSU campus, and my work with students with disabilities really aligns with the mission of Dr. Martin Luther King. I'm so happy that I'm able to give back to the students, staff, faculty, and my community at WSU. Thank you again.
I'm Sarah Trulio, a certified business advisor with the Washington Small Business Development Center. The SBDC is jointly managed by WSU and the SBA. We are housed in the WSU Office of Innovation and Research. Brian Kraft oversees our program within WSU. WSU has hosted our organization since the inception in the 1980s. Our main focus at Washington Small Business Development Center is to offer no-cost advising and resources to small businesses and entrepreneurs. We have 30 plus advisors in 25 locations throughout Washington state. I proudly nominated WSU employee Jennifer S. Tucker for the Community, Equity, and Social Justice Inclusive Excellence Award because I felt she embodied the criteria in more ways than one. Jennifer S. is a natural leader, an educator, a visionary, and a motivator. She spends her days championing Black-owned small businesses and entrepreneurs in Pierce and King counties. She educates on best practices and makes sure that her clients receive a fair, equitable, and inclusive seat at the table, which is no small feat. Recently, Jennifer S. hosted and facilitated the Black-owned Business Excellence Symposium, an all-day virtual conference to celebrate, educate, and inspire Black business owners. More than 250 people from across the state attended. Internally, Jenna Finesse has been a catalyst in our organization to institute many changes. By serving as a role model for community engagement with the people we want to serve, and searching out grant opportunities to increase education capacity for Black business owners, and encouraging us to have uncomfortable and heartfelt discussions about systemic racial injustices faced by many Black Americans. She's a force with a vision, advancing the betterment and equality and inclusion, much like the namesake of this award. She sets a high bar, and I'm honored to work with her. Congratulations, Jenna Finesse.
The amazing Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "A social movement that only moves people is merely a revolt. A movement that changes both people and institutions is a revolution." The great poet Kirk Franklin asked the question, "Do you want a revolution?" I said, "Do you want a revolution?" Whoop, whoop. We have been in the revolution for a long time. A lot of us are doing our part. Social movement after social movement after social movement. This has been a long-term struggle that continues. We are an extension of the revolution that changes both people and institutions. When I joined the Small Business Development Center at Washington State University in 2018, I immediately noticed there were very few people of color in the network, and even fewer BIPOC clients being helped and served by our services. While we didn't discriminate, we also didn't make an effort to target the underserved. So I developed a marketing strategy that is very targeted in reaching people of color, people that look like me, people who need our services, people who didn't even know we existed for the last 40 years. I reached out to organizations who were in the communities of color and developed relationships. Those relationships turned into partnerships, and those partnerships turned into friendships. Now, 2 years later, my friends and I are promoting Black-owned business excellence. We are creating asset maps that show Black-owned businesses how to get the support they need. We're doing celebrations that celebrate the excellence in Black-owned business. We're providing educational resources and safe spaces for the underserved to get the support they need through inclusion. So, I accept this Distinguished Service Award on behalf of my friends who are committed to continuing in this movement to help BIPOC, people of color, Black people, Black-owned businesses to change institutions as well as people, denouncing the mere illusion of inclusion and furthering the efforts of the revolution. So, thank you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Faith Lutz in the Department of Criminal Justice and Criminology, and it's an honor for me to have this opportunity to talk about Dr. Crystal Roig Palmer, the person who I nominated and who is receiving the Distinguished Service Award for Altruism and Community Service. I nominated Crystal because she epitomizes everything that we're proud of at Washington State University. She's an exceptional researcher, an incredible educator, and a change maker who translates her education and all of her energy into social change. Crystal volunteered over 1,100 hours at Lambert House. Lambert House is located in Seattle, and it's a community youth center for LGBT plus youth, providing a safe place and a wonderful community of engagement. Not only did Crystal volunteer 1,100 hours, but she also dedicated 500 hours to direct service to youth in need. When COVID happened, Crystal didn't quit or walk away. She adapted to online provision of services and continued to support the community. The second reason why I nominated Crystal was her community art projects. Crystal taught really important courses within our curriculum. One, juvenile justice, and the other, a course on violence towards women. Crystal, in both of those classes, created service learning opportunities for her students. And she is an artist and an activist, so she combined those two skill sets to provide students with an opportunity to bring to light to the community through art social injustice and systems of oppression. And through that engagement, really just engaged the spirit of affecting positive change. So Crystal is an amazing person who I'm very proud to have this opportunity, given the core of her very being is to advance social justice and to undermine systems of oppression through her research, through education, and through service. So I'm really proud and grateful to have this opportunity, and I'm looking forward to just watching her change the world with all of us there with her. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Crystal Roig Palmer. I'm very honored to be a recipient of the Martin Luther King Jr. Distinguished Service Award of 2021. I owe this award, though, to the many individuals and families that I've worked with in my career of criminal justice, which has spanned over the course of almost 20 years. I've worked in different states and cities and counties, in different private nonprofit divisions, also under court administration and different judicial circuits. I have experienced a lot throughout my career. I've learned many lessons from others. But most importantly, what I wanted to highlight today is that I have identified a very critical social problem when it comes to the topic of youth prevention in our nation. No matter what role I have filled or what capacity I've been working in my line of work, I have identified over the years that there is an extreme lack in society of safe spaces for LGBTQ plus youth and young adults to build community at and to be a part of. And so what that means is that we as society are limiting the positive youth developmental experiences that these youth and young adults have throughout life. And how this relates to the award that I'm receiving today, I mean, there are so many things that we could talk about in honor of Dr. King in his pursuit of social justice and civil rights for humanity. But one quote comes to mind when I think of the work I've dedicated my career to over the years. And that is that Dr. King said that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And a program, which is called Lambert House, LGBTQ plus Youth Community Center located in Seattle, Washington. That program is putting a stop to the injustices that I just discussed earlier regarding the LGBTQ plus youth and young adult community. This program provides safe space for youth to just be at and to find community at. And this community is important for them because it's a community of individuals and collectives where they can learn from others, learn from each other, they can grow together, and they can find essentially a family with, a chosen family. And this is very important. And so a few years ago, I contacted the executive director and program manager of this organization, and we partnered together and have been completing some incredible work together and basically amplifying the voices of that which are typically muted, and that is of the LGBTQ plus youth and young adult population. So this award would most importantly not have been possible without the loyalty, integrity, and commitment that we all shared together in conducting the work that we could to shine light on how incredible this program space of Lambert House truly is in affording the youth and young adults of the LGBTQ plus community just a place to feel equal, a place to feel where they belong. And we truly need more centers like it. So thank you again, Lambert House, for letting me be a part of your family and for the work that we've done together. And we're not done. We have many more things to do together. So thank you again. I'm very humble in receiving this award. Be safe, everyone.
Hello, my name is Laura Levine. I am a professor and chair of the Washington State University Department of Entomology. I am proud to be a collaborator, a colleague, and a friend of Dr. Masha Gardstein, the 2020 Washington State University Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Service Award winner. Dr. Masha Gardstein deserves this award because of her extraordinary contributions to the advancement of diversity and her exceptional efforts in education and inclusion. Dr. Gardstein is an ideal recipient of this honor because of her leadership to transform our institution's climate and policies to be more inclusive. Her advocacy and actions as a professor were simply not enough for her. She became the director of Advance at WSU in 2015, which gave her a platform to actively advocate for and support the recruitment and retention of faculty women in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and underrepresented minority faculty in all disciplines. Through Advance at WSU and her partnership with WSU leadership, Masha has positively impacted the lives of our faculty as a whole. Dr. Gardstein has taken a multifaceted approach from the individual and their agency to targeted institutional reform of policies and climate. She uses an evidence-based approach and has brought the full force of her scholarship and leadership to bring National Science Foundation funding to kickstart this important work in the Pacific Northwest. Masha's ambition is not just to change Washington State University, but institutions of higher education nationwide. The National Science Foundation grant she is a leader of is a regional partnership that includes Oregon State University, Montana State University, the University of Montana, Western Washington University, Heritage University, Missoula College, Columbia Basin College, Everett Community College, Wenatchee Valley College, Whatcom Community College, and Yakima Valley College. You can see that she dreams big. Masha is a role model. She is a successful practicing clinical psychologist. She is the director of the Washington State University Clinical Psychology Doctoral Program. She has an active and federally funded research program that was highlighted in the 2019 Netflix documentary, Babies, Season 2, the Nature and Nurture episode. If you have not seen this documentary, you need to. Masha is also a mother, a partner, and a good friend. She is humble, but her impact is enormous and continues to grow. Masha truly lives by the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The time is always right to do what is right. We are grateful she has chosen to do this work at Washington State University. Congratulations.
Hello, I'm Masha Gardstein, a professor in the Department of Psychology, where I direct our doctoral program in clinical psychology. In addition, I serve as the director of Advance at WSU, and I'm now thrilled to also call myself a recipient of the Martin Luther King Jr. Distinguished Service Award for the advancement of diversity. No one wants to hear a long acceptance speech, so mine will be brief and to the point. I'm both very excited and humbled to accept this award. Humbled both in thinking about the legacy of MLK, but also about the great diversity, equity, and inclusion work being done by others at WSU and beyond. I feel fortunate in that Advance at WSU has given me an effective platform for engaging in DEI efforts, and I'm proud of the fact that during my time as the director, we have broadened our scope of faculty development support, now offering programs for women faculty across the WSU system, not just in STEM, but in any discipline. Importantly, we also support faculty who identify with underrepresented groups, regardless of gender. Part of our mission at Advance includes bringing trainings and workshops to WSU, making these available to our entire community as much as possible. These have been largely focused on DEI-related issues. For example, demystifying the implicit bias and providing strategies for diminishing its impact, as well as bystander interventions addressing microaggressions. Of course, a lot more remains to be done. And because of the higher education structure on many different levels, university as a whole, college level, within individual academic units, we have to make sure that DEI efforts are inclusive with respect to administration, staff, faculty, students, graduate and undergraduate, as well as our postdoctoral scholars, and are system-wide. In addition, we have to foster collaboration on DEI efforts among academic institutions, and such efforts are starting to take shape. Advance at WSU was recently awarded an NSF partnership grant to coordinate such initiatives with 13 institutions across the Pacific Northwest, with a project entitled Value-Based Academic Leadership Trajectories for Women in STEM, or VOLTS for short. Focused on mid-career women faculty in STEM, it aims to bring equity to leadership roles, increasing representation at the highest echelons of STEM disciplines. VOLTS programs are also focused on intersectionality, ensuring that women of different backgrounds are supported in a sensitive and meaningful manner. Importantly, VOLTS is aimed at shifting policy to eliminate barriers women face in their career development and pursuit of leadership responsibilities. In conclusion, I would like to note my utmost appreciation of this MLK Distinguished Service Award and to thank the awards committee, as well as Dr. Laura Levine, who nominated me for this honor. I see this recognition not so much as a nod to a job well done, but rather as a call to action to continue DEI efforts at WSU and beyond. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Elise Hoekscher, and I'm a grad student at WSUV, and I'm studying to be a special education teacher. Shameem was one of my professors, and she illustrated the ubiquitous and systematic racism that exists in our education and justice system, as well as many various other areas of our society. She also provided the necessary resources for me to implement materials in my own future classroom, including Rhythm and Resistance, which is a wonderful text that allows teachers to implement poetry and social justice in their own classrooms. She has served as a constant inspiration for her own personal work that she has done outside the institution as well as within. Thank you, Shameem.
Hello, my name is Shameem Raka, and I'm honored to have been nominated for the Martin Luther King Jr. Distinguished Service Award for Advancement and Diversity. I am deeply humbled. I feel very fortunate to do the work that I do. I get to teach future teachers how to seek equity and justice in their future careers, how to challenge systems of oppression in schools, and how to treat all children with sincere love and caring while holding them to high expectations so that they can have amazing opportunities to pursue happiness in life. I feel fortunate to do the equity work that I do on the Vancouver campus through the Building a Community of Equity, or BASE program. Having the opportunity to speak to my colleagues and teach them about topics such as racial microaggressions, color-brave ideology, and equity-mindedness doesn't even feel much like work to me. It feels more like I'm a part of something bigger than I am, and something that is so much more important. Through this work, I get to collaborate with amazing colleagues who share a deep desire for equity and justice. Importantly, it's through this work that I am coming to know those who I work with. It feels like we are truly community building. I also feel so very fortunate to have service built into my job. That seems crazy to me. A part of my actual job is to work for the community. I love the work that I do for the Boys and Girls Club and some of the schools of Southwest Washington. Through this service, I'm able to teach the adults who work with our youth about anti-racism and to help people see the systems of oppression that are set in place in our society. It's hard work, emotionally draining to be sure, but I truly believe it's such important work. Finally, one part of my work for the university is to work with Steve Fountain to help create the since time immemorial curriculum for the peoples of the lower Columbia River. I do this work with much cultural humility, as I don't hold any of the knowledge for doing this important work. I'm learning so much through this process that it honestly feels like a gift. I have no doubt in my mind that there are many people throughout our university who deserve this award, and I am humbled to have been chosen as this year's recipient. I would like to thank Dr. Obi Ford III for his amazing leadership and passion, along with all of my dear colleagues on the BASE committee for their passion for justice, willingness to teach and learn, and for the sheer joy they bring to this work and to my life. I'd like to thank my colleagues in the College of Education for their support and honestly for putting up with my many critical questions I pose about the work we do. Finally, I'd like to specifically thank Drs. Rennie Christopher, Sharon Cruz, and Tariq Akmal for their visionary leadership that allows me to dive deeply into this equity work, and in turn, it allows me to pursue my life's passion for justice. Thank you very much.
I am delighted that our very own Christine Cody has been selected as a Martin Luther King Jr. Distinguished Service Award honoree. Christine is an advocate, a leader, and a confidant as she works tirelessly to advance equity, inclusion, and justice efforts on the Tri-Cities campus and in the Tri-Cities community. Christine joined WSU Tri-Cities in 2019 as the Career Services Coordinator, bringing with her a vast amount of experience in working with and for diversity and inclusion centers. I must say, we took advantage of that expertise and added to her duties. Within 2 months of being hired, Christine facilitated the opening of the Mosaic Center for Student Inclusion. She brought together people with various backgrounds and developed a framework for a high-functioning center. Mosaic was established not only as a welcoming place for students, but also the home for diversity and inclusion efforts on the Tri-Cities campus. In addition to hosting educational workshops and speakers for students, she implemented the Community Classroom, a series designed for the Tri-Cities community. It is an opportunity for individuals across the region to learn and talk about some of the most pressing and complex issues facing society today. This aspect of Mosaic was above and beyond the original proposed scope for the Campus Inclusion Center. Christine's out-of-the-box thinking has proven to be a tremendous asset for WSU Tri-Cities and the community it serves. Christine is very deserving of this MLK Distinguished Service Award. She has gone well beyond her responsibilities to bring the WSU Tri-Cities campus community together in order to have honest conversations about race and equity. Thank you, Christine, and congratulations on this tremendous accomplishment.
I am deeply humbled to receive the MLK Distinguished Service Award. I want to begin by saying thank you to the advocates who have come before us and laid the groundwork, as well as to the WSU community who welcomed me into the Coug family about 1.5 years ago and extended generous hospitality and trust in providing opportunities for me to lead in diversity, equity, and inclusion work. I want to give a very special thanks to my family, my mentors, and my past and present students. I stand on the foundation of your stories. I am an extension of your teaching and guidance. And my voice and courage are a reflection of our shared humanity. As I receive this honor, I hold in mind the countless moments and relationships that have shaped me and continue to propel me forward in this work. The thing about justice work is there is no shortage of opportunities to engage, to press for progress, to innovate, and to advocate for a better world than the one that we're living in today. I'm grateful to have a platform for doing that work here, as it is a deep heart conviction, both personally and professionally. Any impact that I've been able to have is a credit to those who I've been able to work alongside across the system, whether that is collaborating with my colleagues, on Chancellor Haynes' Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee, presenting with Matthew Jeffries, strategizing with Marcella Pattinson and Claudia Skinner, or working with the student employees in the Tri-Cities Mosaic Center for Student Inclusion. The most meaningful service I have done is that which has been in partnership with others.
others who hold different identities, different perspectives, and who bring different strengths to the table other than my own. I'm deeply grateful to be recognized in this way, and I do not take this honor lightly. I know there are countless staff who are just as deserving of this award. So today, I share in the joy and significance of this honor with them as well. I commit to being a good steward of my privilege, my voice, and my agency to contribute to WSU, my community, and in all places that my influence reaches. Go Cougs.
Hi, I'm Aurora Brinkman, and I'm a third-year graduate student in the clinical psychology program.
And I'm Erin Savage. I'm a fourth-year graduate student in the clinical psychology program.
We nominated the Diversity in Psychology Committee, also called DIPSY, for the Community, Equity, and Social Justice Inclusive Excellence Award because of the extensive equity and inclusion work done by this organization. DIPSY is a student-led group whose members are graduate students and faculty in the psychology department.
DIPSY has been active on WSU's campus and in the Pullman community since it was founded a few years ago. Some of the projects DIPSY has done include the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion in Psychology, or DEEP speaker series, Art is Action events, which incorporate social justice and the arts.
DIPSY has also done numerous recruitment and retention efforts, including a diversity panel during interview weekends, mentorship programs, and developing resources for diverse students. They've also started a diversifying research symposium, as well as authored a call to action document that contains guidances on promoting diversity and inclusion in the psychology department and academia overall.
This work has allowed community members, students, staff, and faculty to learn more about the experiences of diverse individuals and become aware of systemic injustice. In addition, the work of DIPSY provides additional diversity training to psychologists in training. Those are the students in the clinical psychology program. And this prepares students to work in the Pullman area as clinicians with greater understanding of systemic inequalities and the oppression of marginalized groups.
Through the social justice efforts of the committee, the psychology field can grow and become more diverse, equitable, and inclusive, as well as communicate the importance of equity and representation to the broader community and society as a whole. In addition, DIPSY is working to make the psychology program a more welcoming and inclusive environment to diverse students, as well as pushing for changes to the program that will also help with recruitment and, more importantly, retention of diverse students. These changes include becoming more aware of systemic oppression present in academia and the psychology field, providing resources and funding, and promoting perspectives, promoting inclusion and broadening perspectives.
We would like to acknowledge that the efforts of DIPSY that we've described would not be possible without the dedication and passion of founding members of DIPSY, including Sherry Ryder, Stephen Habaika, Catherine Sumida, Joyce Leo, Emily Faust, and Abir Church, as well as faculty members, in particular Dr. Paul Kwan, Dr. Connie Kirchhoff, and Dr. Susan Collins.
Thank you to the Martin Luther King Jr. Distinguished Service Award Committee for creating this award in order to recognize the importance of social justice work at WSU and in the Pullman community.
Hi, everyone. We are the Diversity in Psychology Committee, also known as DIPSY, and we wanted to start off by introducing some of our members.
Hello, my name is Aaron Aguilar Bonet. I am this year's DIPSY Secretary and also Deep Talk Subcommittee Chair.
Hi, my name is Erin Savage, and this year I am a co-chair of DIPSY.
Hi, my name is Connie Kirchhoff. I'm the current faculty co-chair, and I'm involved in the climate survey subcommittee.
I'm Katrina McDougall, and I'm one of the previous co-chairs for DIPSY.
I'm Catherine Sumida, and I'm a previous co-chair of DIPSY.
I'm Aurora Brinkman, and I'm one of the current co-chairs of DIPSY.
I'm Callan Lujan, and I'm a subcommittee chair for the Diversifying Research Symposium.
I'm Sarah Boland, and I'm a member of the Admissions and Outreach Subcommittee.
I'm Hannah Levy, and I am the Art is Action co-chair.
I'm Austin Lau, general member affiliated with the Climate Survey Subcommittee.
I'm Christy Pham, and I'm a part of the Art is Action Subcommittee and the Admissions and Outreach Subcommittee.
I'm Greg Kaiser. I'm a former co-chair and current chair of the Funding Subcommittee.
We are so honored and thankful to receive the Community Equity and Social Justice Inclusive Excellence Award.
The Diversity and Psychology Committee, or DIPSY, is composed of psychology students and faculty who teach undergraduate students, conduct research, and provide therapy services to students and community members. We are passionate about increasing awareness of systemic injustice and inequity and working to undo these systems.
It is vital that work that advances diversity, equity, and inclusion is recognized because it will create a more inclusive and equitable campus community. Awarding social justice work shows the importance of these efforts and reinforces the positive change social justice brings.
DIPSY has worked hard over these past years to promote diversity, equity, and inclusion on campus, and we are grateful that the work is being recognized. We would like to thank all of the current members of DIPSY who have worked hard on our many projects.
In addition, we'd like to acknowledge the support and guidance we receive from former DIPSY members, including Abir Church, Stephen Hobaika, Emily Faust, Sherry Ryder, and Joyce Leo, as well as faculty members, in particular, Dr. Paul Kwan, Dr. Connie Kirchhoff, and Dr. Susan Collins.
Finally, thank you to the Martin Luther King Jr. Distinguished Service Award Committee for recognizing our efforts. Congratulations as well to all other individuals and groups who have also received these awards.
Greetings, my name is Cheyenne Newsome, and I am faculty in WSU College of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Sciences. And it was my pleasure to nominate Dr. Jamie Bowman to receive the Martin Luther King Jr. Distinguished Service Award. So I chose to nominate Dr. Bowman because of her exceptional efforts in teaching and leadership to improve the lives of transgender people. Dr. Bowman was a pioneer in providing medical care to transgender patients in Eastern Washington. She began providing comprehensive queer care during her residency in 2002, and Dr. Bowman was the first medical provider in Whitman County to offer gender-affirming services. Since then, Dr. Bowman has chosen to share her expertise to create a community that is informed and passionate about the care of transgender people. She has taught health profession students of many different disciplines, including physician's assistants, nurse practitioners, here at WSU's medical school and other medical schools. And in addition to educating health profession students, Dr. Bowman has led educational sessions for family medicine educators, WSU employees that are queer allies, pediatric nurses, school nurses, and other community members. But one facet that can't really be fully appreciated by hearing these accomplishments of Dr. Bowman is the sincere passion that she possesses around this topic and this care and caring for this community. Her passion is truly contagious, and this is evidenced by her former students, medical students, going on to implement gender-affirming care in their services throughout Oregon and Washington. And when I think about Dr. Bowman and all of these people she's touched directly and the ripple effects that she sent out into our community, It really gives me goosebumps and makes me really proud to have her as a colleague. Dr. Bowman was appointed to the Range Community Health Strategic Planning Committee. And this is a mobile medical unit that's able to drive out into communities and provide medical care or telemedicine. And when Dr. Bowman learned about Range Health and this opportunity, she identified that it would be a great way to reach out and provide safe, comprehensive care for transgender people who may otherwise not be able to access that care. So these are just a few examples of Dr. Bowman's impressive work. She seeks to ensure the compassionate care of people both in her professional activities as well as her personal life. She's a sincere advocate for the transgender community, and she does so in a supportive and inclusive way. So thank you, Dr. Bowman, for your impressive work, and congratulations on receiving the Martin Luther King Jr. Distinguished Service Award.
Hello, everyone. I am incredibly grateful to be recognized as a Martin Luther King Jr. Distinguished Service Award honoree. It is especially meaningful to be acknowledged for holding diversity that maybe isn't entirely obvious when you look at me. My passion for queer folk started when I was a youth, and my beloved uncle came out as gay. Our family sadly rejected him. I grew up in a community that isn't and wasn't entirely welcoming to folks who frankly weren't white, heterosexual, cisgendered men. Reflecting back, it's clear that most of that bigotry was rooted in very complex emotions and generational trauma. My work has focused both on acknowledging and dismantling that complex set of emotions. Empathy, education, and personalization builds bridges. I am super lucky to be in the company of others who have lighted the way. And as you know, this is not easy work. This award and the recognition that comes with it really reinforces my resolve. Thank you for seeing me. And to my fellow Cougs who are also doing this hard work, thank you for reinforcing and multiplying these efforts. Thank you to the award committee for lifting me up so that I may lift up others.
Hi, my name is Lauren Slater, and I am nominating Dion for the Martin Luther King Jr. Distinguished Service Award. Dion has not only been my boss over this year, but I've also come to consider him a friend. He has dedicated his life to helping those around him through the practice and education of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Dion has, and I believe always will, lead his life with an ethic of light and love. He is always there for those around him, and he stands up to any injustices he might see on a WSU campus. Dion has always encouraged me to pursue my passions, whether that be a friendly conversation over Zoom, talking about what I want to do with my life, or reading a personal statement when I finally decided that I wanted to go to grad school. Dion always goes above and beyond for those that he cares about. But I'm not the only one who thinks this. I had a few coworkers that really wanted a chance to speak about Dion.
Dion is the most deserving person for this award that I can think of. Not only does he promote diversity, equity, inclusion, education on his own, but he supports everyone around him in a way that allows people to collectively work towards those goals.
As an SJPE, one of the most amazing things about working with Dion is his immense positivity. Even if we're really piled up with a lot of work, even if there's a lot of stuff going on in the world, Dion comes in ready to work with a positive attitude. He's always ready to crack some jokes. He just makes our work environment as social justice peer educators so welcoming and inviting, and it's honestly the best work environment I've ever had, and hopefully I get to replicate what Dion has done in other workplaces.
So my favorite boss of all time, and I've been employed quite a bit, Dion sometimes lovingly goes by Dionic, and I don't think he means it this way, but to me, that ionic part of it, the chemical bond that comes from opposing ions is a really beautiful ode to the way that Dion just unites and rules, I guess, our work environment with an ethic of love and compassion and care. He really teaches us how to authentically liberate and serve with love, and I couldn't think of a better person to award the WSU Distinguished Service Award to.
Dion deserves this award because of what a positive influence he's been wherever he goes. As his time as an RA, he's built a community in Alaska that immersed himself in the culture and supported the Native students. While he was working here at WSU, he's given diversity training after diversity training to improve campus inclusivity. And as our boss at the SJPE program, he's just amazing all around.
And so I congratulate him, and it's an honor to work for him.
So congratulations, Dion. We are all so proud of you.
Congratulations, Dion. We're all really proud of you.
Congratulations, Dion. You are so deserving of this award for everything you do and everything that you bring with you every single day to work and into your just normal everyday life. Thank you for being such a positive energy, and I am so glad that I was able to nominate you for this award. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dion Cromartie. I work in the Office of Outreach and Education. For me, I am excited and honored to be one of the people selected for the MLK Distinguished Service Award. For me, it's a really humbling experience to be selected and recognized for the work that I've done on Coleman campus and across the system. For me, I also want to thank the person who nominated me, my coworkers, my friends and family. I also want to give special thanks to the Student Diversity Center in Spokane and also the Social Justice Peer Educator student group I work with right now. For me, knowing that it takes a group of people, I could never do this alone. And I'm really happy that I had this support through my whole time in Pullman and in our WSU system. So thank you again for selecting me for this award. And I can't wait to continue the great work that's helping our campus. Thank you and have a good day.
SNMA is doing amazing work. When I read about the Distinguished Service Awards, I really wanted to nominate them because they've added so much to my personal education here at EFSCOM, and they're doing incredible things. So what I really appreciate about them is the space that they create for people to feel safe talking about challenging topics or topics that have historically been taboo. I went to a meeting where people were exchanging different experiences they've had with microaggressions, and it was really powerful to hear personal stories from people that I know and care about and see how those things really do affect their lives and how people of privilege can really participate in that cycle and what we can do to get better in the future. I think that topics like this are often not talked about because they can be uncomfortable. And I think SNMA has done an incredible job creating a safe space, being leaders in initiating these conversations and helping all of us become better doctors for patients across Washington. I think they deserve to be recognized and celebrated. They've been doing a ton of work, putting on a lot of events, bringing in really diverse and interesting speakers to just round out the amount of exposure that we get to different people succeeding in different ways. So I'm personally very grateful. I think it's an amazing group. They've created a really safe and powerful space for pushing these conversations forward. And I'm really glad that they're here. So congratulations on getting the award. I think you're doing awesome things.
My name is Daryl Jackson. I'm associate professor in both the College of Pharmacy and the College of Med. In the College of Pharmacy, I have several hats as a graduate advisor to 2 graduate students, as well as the director of the graduate program in the Department of Pharmaceutical Science and Molecular Medicine. My role in the College of Medicine is a thread director of pharmacology within that particular college. I am grateful and honored to be awardee of the MLK Distinguished Service Award. Throughout my career as a scientist, neuroscientist, I've always shared the mission, the ideas and mission of DEI throughout my career as a neuroscientist, as a graduate student, as a postdoc, and as a professor, in terms of mentoring students that were working in my labs at these various institutions where I worked in my past careers. Being a mentor is extremely important to me. Being a mentor to all students, letting them know that they have the capabilities to be successful in areas of health-related careers. And as a parent and a grandfather to two crazy grandkids, I've always thought, in terms of being a really great mentor, to listen to students, listen to my kids, my son and my daughter, as well as my two grandkids. Listening is just as important to be effective as a mentor for students. And so my interactions with my crazy grandkids definitely helped me develop the idea of listening even better. I am honored to be a recipient of this award, and also humble. And lastly, as a devoted Coug, I like to say, go Cougs!
Thank you for this Martin Luther King Distinguished Service Award. I'm truly humbled and honored to receive this recognition. I've been working for the medical school for over 5 years, and the transition from clinical medicine to academic medicine has had its challenges, but has mostly been extremely rewarding. I've had the opportunity to work in the DEI space of the College of Medicine with some amazing colleagues and thought leaders throughout its development. I can say that I am really excited about where we are in this journey. The support received from the leadership of the College of Medicine, especially from our dean, who we fondly call Dr. T, has been critical to the Office of Diversity, Health, Justice, and Belonging in creating the DEI strategic plan. More importantly, I've had the opportunity to work with medical students again as an educator, and in particular with students of color as an advisor. It has truly been a joy and reminds me of why I went into medical school. To see the leadership, tenacity, and sense of purpose these students showed in order to start the Student National Medical Association at the college makes me proud. Martin Luther King said that we should not judge our success on our salaries or the cars we drive, but rather by the quality of our service and the relationship to mankind. This award signals that perhaps I am on the road to being successful, so I am grateful to the university and whomever nominated me for this reminder of my purpose.